What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are feeling good. We got AJ now. Good morning to you. Good morning to Albert. Good morning to Anna, Andrew, Bill, Frank, Jeff, JT. Good morning to Kevin, Lauren, Lou, Lydia, Martina. Tim is in the house. All my people out in YouTube land. Good morning to all of you. I see Ray. Good morning. First one jumping in the YouTube chat. Real Virtual Demand. Good morning. Be Jolly. Good morning. All my lurkers in the background of YouTube. They're just not going to say nothing all day. It's okay. I still love you. Hit that like and subscribe button, and eventually we'll convert you. It's my goal. My goal, convert you eventually into saying something, throwing out a ticker, throwing out an idea, throwing out a comment. But yeah, new month. So new month, crazy part is we're like what 30, 31 days. I don't even know how long, I think 30 days till half the year is over. So we're moving, we're flying. But just keep in mind where you're at for the month, where you're at for the year, when you when it's okay to get a little more aggressive, when it's okay to get a little conservative, wait for the markets to give you those cues. And what you do today can impact the rest of the month for you as well. So make sure you step gently. Lydia says it's crazy to think about when you say it that way. I know. That's like halfway through the year in like 30 short days is just crazy. But uh again, we're looking to see. We could go to the weekly chart. We were talking about how this market opens. We're saying, hey, listen, if there's a good looking gap on Monday, that would greatly impact the markets. That means we probably get some big news over the weekends, and we have this wide open gap down here. We have all time highs. Where do we go from here? I don't know, but this gap is not helping. No real crazy news, at least in terms of affecting the markets that came out over this weekend. The way they close this market, though, very suspicious on Friday. So we had pretty much a pure breakdown again, just back and forth with Trump tariff news. Things are, if the courts are saying things, just absolutely getting crushed at one point. But if you blinked during this time, if you went to go get your lunch and then you came back, you're at highs of the day. And then at the very end of the day, very suspiciously got it right. They pushed it right below 590 for the closing price to just wipe out anybody with 590 calls, which there was a lot of calls sitting there at 590. So I think the two levels, the two really big levels was like 585, which we were below it at one point. I was buying this dip on this. I was like, I don't know. I don't believe it. So I was buying this dip up, which worked well. And then just where they close this thing is just remarkable. Just a coincidence, I'm sure. Nothing, no manipulation, no nothing. But they were able to close it under 590, so wiping out a lot of calls there, probably a lot of 585 puts. And we reset the table. The new deck of cards is out. We'll see how we want to play. Not much really info for today in terms of the open. I guess a little bit more now than probably even 4 minutes ago. But what's not great, well, let's go with what's okay, is we're still inside day for Friday, so nothing was really. If you made a position, whether you're right or wrong on the buying the dip or selling at the highs or buying at the highs, you have some kind of emotion for those people, but they're not really a feeling like they have to make a move yet. What would be a little more concerning to me is the location of this open. So we do have it right around that 589.63, big resistance that we're starting to build over the last 3, 4 days. We have what should have been a little bit of support somewhere around 587.76. 2 seconds ago, we were right in that zone. Now we're starting to drop back below it. You do have 585.12. That is probably should be some kind of support. You have 584.35. Should be some type of support. We've been through all that now on Friday with that kind of panic sell off. And now I'm looking at my next target to the downside. If we get through all that again, which I think is a little bit easier to do today, I'm looking at 581.45, and then I think I'm just a monster on this chart. Never really got back down here for the retest. Would be 578.56. So we have some room to the downside. We have some decent resistance built up. Unless we could kind of squeeze, I think before open in the next 24 minutes, we can start rallying above 587.93. That puts us in an iffy zone, or just kind of chop around a little bit. So right now, if we were to open here, I'd probably have to lean a little bit more to the bear side than anything else. But if we start recapturing this 587.93, watch for that resistance. Anything past that would be very, very good signs for the markets. Qs. Qs we have, I mean, double top is double top with a monster bull trap. That's there. It's on the market. We are still well above all moving averages. Look for some big, big resistance on this one. 520.94. If we get back up there, technically we hit that resistance perfectly on Friday. We sold. We closed underneath it. We closed right into another support, 518.70. Same thing. Still inside day. So not too many motions on it, but right now you're opening at a little bit of support. You have another one, 515.80. That's been messed with already. And then I think we start breaking that. You have a little bit more of a potential for a flush into like this 509.55 zone. Still above moving averages, and we'll see if the moving averages are enough to kind of catch them up. Tim says, I thought gold double top's pretty good. Now it looks like it's headed for new highs. Yeah, let's check out gold and then let's move over to TLT as well. So again, do we have deals yet? No, we don't have any deals. We don't have anything concrete. In fact, some of the deeper sell-off was Trump saying that China wasn't really playing by the rules, and that's not good for deals. That doesn't sound like we have a deal in the incoming future, no matter what the talks. They previously said the talks were going great, and then all of a sudden kind of derailed. So yeah, gold, safety play. We do have a little bit of a gap up on this one. Still inside this kind of consolidation. I think the key spot for gold GLD is 309,992. If we get any pushes past it, or especially close past it, that's a really good sign that we might have another leg. But that is showing some life into what you would think is safety. Maybe that could be a little escalation from. I think UK did like a drone strike to Russia over the weekend. I think it was yesterday. The political tensions are still there. We'll see, but this is a little fleet to safety, and they're buying this thing right back. TLT would be another concern still. We looked like we were putting in a little bit of a potential rebound on this one, and now you're gapping down just over a dollar where it sits right now. You're also under a lot of key, what should be some kind of support. We have a few bond auctions today. I think the 3 month and 6 months, so the relatively shorter time frame bonds. So we'll see that probably about like 12 o'clock, something like that, 1 o'clock. See the results from that. But otherwise, TLT is still showing signs that there's still some longer term concerns in this market, and we're not out of it yet. Bitcoin, BTC, USD is kind of hanging out, nothing too crazy. So still in the same day range from Friday. You had two up days, both of those just could not break out higher. And for today, it looks like we are getting a little pullback. Watch for, I'm guessing Saturday's VPOC, which would be somewhere around 103,587. If we start breaking below that one, we probably have a little bit more further to go on this pullback. Still relatively high, and including the markets, all the markets that we just talked about, relatively still close to the all-time highs, which makes it leads to the discussion of can we hit new all-time highs in June, and I think it is possible. But we'll see. I mean, the way we got back up here is nothing short of amazing. All right, we got hymns for Bill. Let me know if you guys got other tickers. I see a bunch from Bijal in YouTube, so we'll see. We got hymns is looking still pretty good. All things considered, with the rest of the market kind of pulling back a little bit. You had from Friday, nice bullish engulfing candle. I think there's some bulls probably profitable on this one, just buying it off that 20 EMA, looks like. Really good, interesting location. I don't know if I want to be the first bull to jump in here. You have resistance coming in around 57.78. And then I think your next bigger one would be about 58.24. Those would be my targets for today. If we start running through those, then I think we're looking at a path all the way back to 62.01. Probably best bet is lots of bulls came in, lots of people are profitable. Market pulled back a little bit. This one did not. Maybe there's some profit taking it open. Look for like 55.84 as a buy spot. And then a better one, if we could get down there, would be about 55.16. So I'd have to wait for a pullback if you're not already in. If you're in already, probably moving stops to underneath that candle from Friday would make a heck of a lot of sense for me. But you guys manage your portfolio how you see fit. Otherwise, yeah, I really don't want to see Friday's candle get taken out. So far, looks pretty strong still. I think that move looks to continue. And I think if you get those dips, people will be probably looking to buy it. Boeing, really nice gap. Boeing, fairly good gap. Still inside day from Thursday. I don't know if there's much of a resistance up here. I guess you're starting to come into a little volume zone somewhere around this 210.81. Big key level would be about 212.90 for Boeing. Other than that, it looks good. I would love to see a pullback on this one. Run it into like the 207.67. You might have a case for a short. You have about $3 to the downside, and then as long as your stop is above that Thursday candle. But I think if you're going short on this one, you're going against the grain. This one seems to have or want higher pricing. Buying the dip, I think, would make some sense, give you some decent risk reward, even on a swing trade basis, as long as your stop is below 201.90. I think you have a decent, relatively okay move. And big thing that you're looking for on Boeing is if you start clearing, I'm going to say 214, but realistically less than that. There's nothing really stopping you to like 227.24. So might have some more room, some more legs. I think buying the dip on Boeing seems to be the attractive play for right now. Oxy. Oxy with a gap up, a very rare gap up. At least recently, just been getting clobbered. The one good thing to watch on this one for Oxy, for anybody holding it or just kind of copying the Warren Buffett portfolio, at least you do have some higher highs coming in. You have a mini little double bottom on this one. We are above the 20, not above the 50, not above the 100. You probably got at least some room into this just above $44 zone. We need some of those moving averages to start curling up. I think would start to be decent. And then a big move is that 200, and that takes you into just above, probably about 48, $49. So longer term, decent. Good gap for today, though. I like it. I'm going to probably move this one higher on the list. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know the range on this one. What it's going to give us, but we have the next stop being 42.26. That's a big one, and that's also right in front of the 50. If you could get through that, you probably have room to 82.89. I'm going to get it higher on the list. I do like this gap a lot. Maybe you want to see if there's a high wave candle on it. Give us a nice tighter setup. I think it has to be a tight setup if we're playing this. Um, but it does look like a fairly good gap on that one. Let's go to PayPal, PYPL. PayPal is gapping down a decent amount, lots of volume coming in, so they pushed the price down on Friday. Maybe some of those shorts are celebrating a little bit at open. Not the best open. I don't think it's shortable at the bell. Unfortunately, I think this one, if you could get the price of somewhere close to 69.96, that would be a better spot. Stops anywhere above $70.24. First support on this one, 68.92, a much bigger one, a better target would probably take it to about 68.48. That being said, for right now, we are below the 200. We are right above the 50. We're kind of tangled up there. Looks like a little choppy to me, but it does look like probably looking to get a little bit more of a pullback. Ones they just had earnings, so yeah, next earnings isn't till July 29th, so lots of time before that. But yeah, a little chop. I think probably still looking to pull back a little bit as well. I think if we get any signs of a rate cut, I don't think TLT going down is going to help PayPal. Let's get this one a tad higher on the list too, just in case. Tesla, what is Tesla going to do today? I think we had some numbers from Europe come out. I believe it was Europe, in terms of some sales that for the cars, which they were not looking too great. Obviously, we've had the US numbers. They got cut by like 45% in terms of vehicles produced over the last quarter. So not a good headline for Tesla. Takes it down. It is a retest gap for today, and you do have a little bit of support that we're kind of opening into somewhere right around here. I'm going to look for the high wave candle on Tesla today. See if we can play it bullish with a target into like 351. Probably want to be out by then. Otherwise, yeah, not a great close whatsoever. Bulls did a great job taking us out. However, a lot of times in these little triangle pennant patterns, which Tesla's been just on fire, usually coming down into kind of retesting that makes a lot of sense. Look for pretty decent supports. If I could get a more exact price, somewhere around 340.70. We start breaking that down. There's nothing really stopping us, except for maybe the 50, a couple psychological spots. Otherwise, I got nothing really would make sense. We get a retest into like 322.76. But for right now, at open, I'm gonna go probably try to fade that one to the higher side. Give it a couple minutes, see if we get a high wave candle, a little consolidation, and then I'm gonna try my best to probably play that one to the bullish side, unless we get a pretty quick closing candle below 340.48. Then I'm gonna look for more of the downside on that one. But interesting range, kind of just chilling. Again, pretty remarkable bounce off the 220 zone. We got Hood is pretty nice close on Friday. We are still closing above this key spot, which is 65.13. To me, it kind of looks like we want to go higher, but until we do that, we have to get back above this candle, which is the 27th of May. That's going to take us anything above 66.32 would be good. We are opening, it looks like below it. Next support to the downside, 65.34. I wouldn't be going short on Hood unless you get candles starting to breach and close below 63.93. Then I think that's your opportunity to look to go short. Maybe into like 65 or 69.87, something into that zone. So for now, I'd still be under the conditions of just buying the dip, but we will have to see some kind of confirmation around 66.25. Could be a little choppy unless this thing opens, the entire market starts running, and we just plow right through that thing. Otherwise, I think it's choppy. Here's your case for the bear side of things. If you think this move, like if you're like Hood has just gone too much and there's a double top up here, you probably could get a decent risk reward to a bear side with some kind of stops, maybe around 67.50. Maybe. If it hits, if it starts breaking out, it's breaking out, and okay, flip the position. But you do have a double top. It's still kind of hanging in that zone, but it's looking too strong for me to want to short this one. So I think still buying the dip unless Friday's candle gets taken out. You got NUGT. Fairly good gap on this one. Again, retest from Friday. I'm not really too concerned with that retest though. Maybe I should be. Yeah, we're pretty much we were inside this Thursday candle, but even that was a retest. So you had a lot of bulls buying this thing up. Probably looking for a target on this one. I would say they were probably looking for a target around 74.14. We're above that at open, and then I think probably a lot more people $76, so 76.01-ish. So pretty close. I think this might be a fade the dip or fade the rip opportunity. Probably looking to play this one short, but as close to $76 as possible for now. Longer term looks phenomenal, so it's not a. I'd be only shorting this thing for a day trade. I wouldn't be in this thing short for a swing trade. It looks like it probably wants to go higher, but I think today is more of a fade on that one. We'll see. Maybe Bitcoin going lower. Levine, is that Craig? What's going on, Craig? It's been a minute. Craig, you got to give me a call when you get a chance. We got to catch up. We got Palantir. Palantir is, I mean, that's a phenomenal close on Palantir. It is a gap and go to the downside, technically, but you're in the very high range of this one. With that close, all that volume coming in. Key spot for me, 128.58. That should be the if it wants to pull back to that. I'm not sure we can get there, but if it pulls back 128.58, I think you have really good risk reward to continue that. That is quite the sign of bulls stepping in. Very strong close on Friday. Man, I didn't even see this one close on Friday. That looks crazy. I think this one wants higher. I I don't know. I think I agree anything with the evaluation of the company at this point. But momentum, you don't want to fight that one. So see what happens at 130.04. If you could get that, that looks decent. And then a better spot to buy 128.58 until this candle gets taken out. And probably your first warning signs is somewhere above 128.58 would be interesting. And then really once you start getting closes past 122.88, you might have the bigger pullback. Right now, I don't see it. It looks pretty strong. I guess just pretty in general. Sabine, good morning to you. Let's see if we got anything else. HRL. HRL. So we have a crazy gap on this one. No, I don't see any. I don't see any gap on this one. So it looks like we're just kind of planning to open pretty much where we close. Watch that 200. Could be an interesting swing spot. See if we get above that 200. It is down a lot. They do have some divvies, I believe. Yeah, 29 cents. Looks like quarterly, so not bad. A little bit of a safety play. I don't think they're getting AI anytime soon, so I don't I don't think we're gonna get that crazy momentum, but it is it is had a nice pullback. We're in some decent consolidation. You have a couple of spots where some random momentum comes in. I'm not sure if that's just through the divvies or it's kind of a breakdown. Yeah, it's not really around. You do obviously have some escalated volume during earnings, but nothing too crazy. Watch that 200. And then you also have a pretty good Lux Algo spot. So somewhere above $30.75. If you get above that, I would say get a close above that, you might start to have that little bit of a breakout. And for a swing trade, it looks decent. But we're right at that higher volume zone. Boil, BOIL. I think we should take a look at Nvidia as well because their chart kind of looks a little interesting here. But you got Boyle is gapping up today into a little bit of resistance. So I don't know if I want to go long with this. It is obviously a gap and go. You had some decent volume candles the last 3 days, and you're above all of that. Maybe a spot, and I really like the fact we're above $49.22. I think longer term on a swing, this might be decent a decent spot for risk reward. You are still making those kind of lower highs. I'm not sure what the fees are on this one. Yeah, the longer term chart looks like an absolute mess. Uh, yeah, no, just looks absolute mess. This is not at no time was the price of this ever, by the way, $100,000 more. Hold on a second. Let me go to the monthly. This seems like a pretty horrible long-term hold. It looks like they just keep on killing the price, probably by reverse splits or splits. Monthly, I can't even see nothing. Weekly, yeah. This would be a trading stock. This is not, yeah. $3 million at this point. But yeah, that's all due to splits, reverse splits. Highly manipulated. I don't know what the fees are on this one. So as a long-term investment, no, I wouldn't touch it. As a swing trade, potentially, if you're planning to be in it for a few weeks, get that momentum on it. Otherwise, yeah, this is rough. This is a rough one. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. So Nvidia, which obviously had some earnings come out on Thursday, has an interesting chart pattern to it which we'll get to this one first. So a little bit of head and shoulders. If this one doesn't hold here, obviously we've been in this spot before. The gap that we had from earnings, the little run up from earnings, kind of just came into a decent little resistance spot. It's going to be pretty important for Nvidia for the next couple weeks to see if strength wants to come into this swing. We still are above some decently key volume spots, so anything below 118.32, I think is going to be pretty rough for Nvidia. We are still extremely far away from that one, but in the last 2 days, two trading days at least, you had a gap and go. Even that one was still kind of a retest, but gap and go, fairly decent gap and go. We've come back in for the retest. We are below where we're below or right at where we came in before the earnings were released. So not showing too much strength, but there's also a lot of people in this thing on the run up that's profitable. I think you're sitting at a very interesting spot on Nvidia. If we could get back above probably 135.60, we should at that point have a decent move to 140.65. If momentum keeps up, maybe we break through that. And we're sitting at the highs. Otherwise, big support, which we've already hit most of them. The next support that has not been touched is 131.17. But in this area, you're still kind of in the okay, we've blown past the earnings. We understand what Nvidia is doing, what it's planning on doing. Yeah, I think you have a game of profit taking or not taking profits, and this is a good key spot. So if you're going to get the bounce, if any of that move was real after earnings, I would expect the next couple days to have some kind of rally from here. So watch Nvidia. Otherwise, if we start breaking down on Nvidia, especially past this 131 zone, That would clue me in that we probably get closer back to, I don't know, 120-ish, under 120 again in the near future. So I think the next couple days, Nvidia probably should be on watch, and it's an interesting spot if you're bullish. If you think Nvidia hits all-time highs today, and I think you'd have to be pretty confident that the rest of the market is heading in that direction as well. That would make this a very interesting buy spot on Nvidia. We got WIN, WYNN. Uh, Retest gap at resistance. Was there news on this one? Wynn Resorts director Patricia Mulroy sells shares. That was 2 days ago, so that's old news. Maybe not a great headline for them, but at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. Pretty good gap up. It is a retest gap. Look for support on this one. Watch your first support, 91.56. I think the only way you're getting in this trade to go long is if you think you could break 92.48. Otherwise, look for a bigger pullback on this one. And I think we get that. Look for like $90.93. Much better opportunity, risk to reward wise, to get into this one. But decent little gap up for now. We've had a good run. This is a good pullback. Big spot to hold, 89.14. And that was a nice bounce on that on Friday and also on the 23rd of May as well. So we will see on that one. NVTS. NVTS is hanging out. Yeah, still again not a terrific open for it, above $5, which is still good. That gives some more options to people. But look for 512. Anything above 512, this is a good breakout candle. All of this then was the retest. We have not really come down even to this retest spot, which is $4.81. I would probably consider looking at that as a decent support with a much like has to stay above $4.53. So we're a little far off that for now. So it's either this is the breakout and this is all good news for whatever reason, and we just kind of bounce up from here. This is the retest. But I think you get early signs on this one. I wouldn't go long yet, but if we start either dropping further or getting above 512, maybe you could play that in the bullish direction and see if that first move is the correct move, or they just trapped a whole bunch of bulls and we end up fading. So I wouldn't do anything with it yet unless it comes lower or starts pushing 513 or higher on that one. Otherwise, we got Chewy. Okay. CHWY. CHWY gapping into, nope, not all-time highs, but good gap up. Again, I don't want to be the buyer here, so pull back into the range of $45.02. That might help get you onto the train to continue that momentum. Otherwise, that is the morning bell. I think the markets are crazy. I think the markets are going to be incoherent still, probably even for the beginning portion of the day. We'll see a little bullish candle out of the gate. But I think there was some manipulation until the very end of the close, and I think the Bulls made a very good stance, just not enough to close above where they should. So let's see how this thing plays out. Everybody needs to land. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Be safe today. Go slow. Take the home run trades when you see it, and